Have you ever looked up at the night sky and wondered, what's next? It's a question every person who has ever lived has asked. What happens when we die? Is it a final, silent curtain call, the end of everything we are? Or is it the beginning of something new, something our minds can't yet grasp? Think about it. Our hearts stop beating, our lungs take their last breath, our brains, the very source of our thoughts and dreams, fade to silence. And yet, for a few brief, mysterious moments, the mind can flicker, as if it's refusing to let go. Scientists, philosophers, and spiritual leaders have spent millennia trying to map this final frontier. They've given us theories, faith, and data, but no one has returned with a definitive answer. The truth is, we stand at the edge of the greatest mystery of all, together. What truly happens next? From a purely scientific perspective, death might seem straightforward. The biological machine stops working. Our cells begin to break down, and the energy that animated us returns to the vast, indifferent universe. But even within the cold, hard facts of science, the story isn't quite that simple. Recent research is revealing fascinating complexities. We're learning that the brain doesn't just switch off like a light. Instead, it seems to fade out, sometimes producing incredibly vivid final experiences. You've probably heard the stories. People who have been revived from clinical death often describe eerily similar things. A brilliant, loving light at the end of a long tunnel, a profound sense of peace washing over them, or even seeing their own lives flash before their eyes. Are these just the last desperate sparks of a dying brain, a cascade of chemicals creating a final, beautiful hallucination? Neuroscientists label them near-death experiences, or NDEs, and study them as neurological phenomena. But for the people who have lived through them, these moments feel more real, more significant than life itself. They return changed, convinced they've had a glimpse of something beyond our physical world. This is where science meets mystery, leaving us to wonder, are we seeing the brain's farewell performance or a preview of the next act? Philosophers, of course, have been wrestling with this question for centuries, long before brain scans and heart monitors. The ancient Greek philosopher Epicurus offered a comforting if stark perspective. He famously said, "Death is nothing to us. For when we exist, death is not. And when death exists, we are not." In his view, we will never experience our own death, so fearing it is illogical. It's a clean, simple break. But others, like Plato, painted a very different picture. He believed that our consciousness, our soul, was immortal and could exist independently of our physical bodies. For Plato, death wasn't an end, but a transition, a soul released from its earthly vessel to travel through unseen realms. Fast forward to today, and these ancient debates are finding new life at the intersection of modern physics and philosophy. Consider one of the fundamental laws of our universe. Energy cannot be created or destroyed, it only changes form. Now, if our consciousness, our sense of self, is somehow a product of, or linked to, the intricate electrical and chemical energy in our brains, then where does that energy go? This line of thinking suggests that what we call our self might not just disappear. It could transform. But that raises an even deeper, more profound question. If something of us does continue, what exactly is that something? Is it our memories, our personality, our capacity for love? We're left staring into the same abyss as the ancient philosophers, armed with new tools but wrestling with the same essential enigma. So, where does that leave us? Modern science, for all its incredible advancements, cannot yet explain where consciousness comes from, let alone where it goes after we die. We can map every neuron in the brain, but the feeling of being me, the subjective experience of living, remains an elusive ghost in the machine. But maybe we've been asking the wrong question all along. Perhaps the answer isn't in what happens after death, but in what death can teach us about life. The undeniable fact of our mortality, the knowledge that our time here is finite, can be a powerful catalyst. It can make every sunrise more vibrant, every conversation more meaningful, and every connection with another person feel infinitely more precious. Facing the great unknown of what comes next forces us to focus on the tangible certainty of what we have right now. It reminds us what it truly means to be alive. to feel joy, to experience sorrow, to love with all our hearts, to wonder about the stars, and to feel part of something much, much greater than ourselves. Death, in this light, isn't just an end point. It's a teacher, guiding us to live more fully. When you think about it, maybe death isn't a solid, impenetrable wall at the end of a road. Maybe it's more like a mirror, one that reflects the profound mystery of existence itself. It shows us the boundaries of our knowledge and the limitless scope of our wonder. Looking into that mirror, we see not just an ending, but the value of the time leading up to it. And so, perhaps the most important question isn't what happens after we die, but how deeply, how bravely, and how lovingly will we choose to live before we do? The answer to that question is entirely up to each of us, written in the story of our days, right here and right now. Thank you so much for joining me on this journey into one of life's biggest questions. If this sparked your curiosity, please consider liking this video and subscribing for more explorations into science, philosophy, and the human experience. We'd love to have you as part of our community. Until next time, live fully.